Friends, our guest today is a very dynamic, interesting lady, Vanessa Ruck, aka the girl on a bike. After being hit by a car while cycling in 2014, Vanessa's world was turned upside down. Motorcycles weren't a part of her life before the accident, but have been instrumental in her recovery. She's an enduro and Harley rider and is determined to make the most of every day. She's a huge social media influencer within the adventure motorcycling world and will be joining us to share her life changing story from accident to Harley Davidson and hard enduro. I was super impressed on visiting her social media to see the great feats that she's achieved. All her off road biking, off roading, so to say, going to Iceland and riding with a bunch of strangers there and experiencing and embracing life to its fullest. Please do give Vanessa a follow on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. And in the end, all I would like to say is that I'm super, super pleased to have this lady join me on Life Begins at 40 today. So, Vanessa, I am super duper happy to have you on Life Begins at 40. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of my channel. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
So, what started you as a cyclist and why moving on to biking, and how is it different from cycling?
Gosh, so my actual cycling days probably started when I was maybe 3 years old, a little teeny tot. I was always an active child growing up. My parents had a very outdoor lifestyle kind of upbringing with me. And when I then had a job in the city that was about 8 miles from my house, it seemed like the natural step to be able to cycle it and not have to pay for fuel and car parking and all of that. Free fares before I even got to work. But unfortunately, in March 2014, life as I knew it changed pretty dramatically when I was hit by a red light jumping car while cycling home from work. It was a pretty normal Tuesday. I'd left the office. And yeah, a car coming the other way decided not to stop at their traffic lights, and they cut across in front of me. I had nowhere to go, went straight into the side of them. It was really 7-year recovery. I would say I'm still in recovery. I've had 7 surgeries, including a reconstructed right shoulder and hip. And now my body is very much never going to be the same again. But I'm making the most of my body and what I can do, because I can't change it. All I can do is make the most of every day with what I have. Through my recovery, I kind of then discovered motorbikes as a way to have a bit of adrenaline, but while not be physically able to do all the extreme sports that I had done prior to the accident. So I think the key there is the Harley Davidson, a big, comfortable sofa. You don't need to be fit to ride it. There were months and months, years during my recovery where I was not able to ride a motorbike. But in the up periods of my rather roller coaster recovery, I was able to enjoy motorcycles. And then as I've got fitter and stronger, I've gone, hang on a minute, I want to go off-road and get a little bit more of the sweat and the mental, physical adrenaline of sports back. And so motorcycles very much take up sort of my world now.
Insane. I have seen your videos and I was in complete awe of where you've been, how you have been riding on rocks, on uneven ground, and half the time you're not even sitting on your bike.
No, you very rarely sit down off-road. You've got to be able to have the bike moving around and absorbing the terrain underneath you. Yeah, I feel quite proud in my progression off-road. I have really pushed myself to learn, and I'm massively wanting to learn more. I'm nowhere near as capable a rider as I want to be, but I haven't been riding for that long. So I'm going to keep learning, keep working on my skills, and I want to get better.
How has the accident changed you?
Oh, it's irreversible. I would say I'm a different person. I'm not. Anybody that knew me before the accident will recognize all of the same energies. But I think the most important thing for me in the accident is it's taught me a completely new level of gratitude and appreciation for what you do have in life. And you always hear people complaining about this and that, and you're just like, really? Does it even matter?
Yeah.
Like, in the scheme of life, the accident's given me a really good perspective on what's worth fighting for, what's worth getting upset about, what's important. Like, do you really need more money? And for me, it's experiences and friendships that really bring me happiness. So I think, if anything, the accident, not physically, because physically I'm not ideal now, but I think the accident has helped me for the better on a perspective.
What a wonderful attitude to carry. So, what do you do professionally?
So I work in marketing in the motorcycle industry. I've sort of got a 10-year background in marketing, career in agency side,
Yeah.
automotive and business, tech, IT, which was less fun. So I feel very lucky that I now work around the motorbikes.
Right.
It's something that I'm very passionate about and enjoy.
Where all have you been riding?
Gosh, okay, where have I been riding? Bolivia, Sardinia, Iceland, Croatia, Italy, Spain, Andorra. I've been very lucky over the last few years. I've been on a bit of a mission to try and ride motorbikes in as many different conditions and terrains as possible. One, because I love the cultural side of that growth you get from being in different communities, but also because of this skill development you get from riding in different terrains on different kind of bikes. So I've been quite lucky. If you were to ask me my number one, I would say it would be Iceland. Off-road motorcycling in Iceland. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can see some of the footage and the adventures of Iceland, but it was absolutely breathtaking. Out of this world extremes of terrain.
It is incredible. I saw the video and I was completely smitten.
Oh, I love that word, smitten.
Yeah. In fact, I shared it with a lot of friends and they were all they're looking forward to this chat being put on my YouTube channel and experiencing you firsthand.
Cool.
So, what is the most dangerous biking experience that you've had?
Okay, if you were to do it on paper, it would be Death Road in Bolivia, because it's, one of the most dangerous roads in the world.
Okay.
But the reality is, nowadays, it's not quite as dangerous as it used to be, because it's not a main traffic route. It's mostly a mountain biking route for tourists. So there were huge drop-offs down to the side of the road, and it was like, oh my God, my wheels are like 2 foot from hundreds of meters away. I mean, certain death. But it wasn't quite as terrifying as it is on paper, if that makes any sense. As far as the most dangerous, it's probably some of the hard enduro riding that I've done. So Sardinia, Tour Enduro Sardinia, I rode with, and we did some mountain passes where you're going over steps and rocks, and you have to think about it terrain, and down to the side was just like, look ahead. Don't look down. That was fun.
Yeah.
But I think if you actually stopped to think about it and analyze the situation, it could go wrong quite easily.
Absolutely. So what do you have to be aware of when going off-roading, riding off-road?
You have to focus and pay attention the whole time. It's the moment that you stop absorbing the terrain around you or get complacent that this is easy, that's when that rock gets you and bounces you off track or something. I think you've just got to be in the moment, and I think that's one of the things I really like about biking, is because you have to focus, you're living every second of it, so you're building so much memories and experiences as you go.
Right. And so how do you finance your expeditions? And does Harley help you, or do any of the biking companies support you?
So yeah, I
And
do
then,
work with some of the motorcycle brands and clothing brands and sort of within the industry, and they do support me with some of my adventures.
hmm,
And I then sort of do speaking events and other kind of writing work, etc., on the side alongside sort of the marketing in the industry as well. So there's a few different areas that fall into it, but I think one of the key things for me is that my husband and I, he obviously works as well. He's in the Royal Air Force, an engineering officer. One of the key areas is that we are very careful with our money. We spend our money very wisely, and we spend it on the things that are going to give us the most happiness and enjoyment. And for us, a coffee at Starbucks and an expensive dinner here and amazing clothing, the materialistic stuff isn't the sort of stuff that we get the most pleasure from. So we spend less there and basically spend money on our motorbikes in our garage.
how beautifully you've prioritized your life.
We try to.
So, what has been your longest expedition?
I think that's probably Bolivia, where we were there for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Because of working life, we aren't the sort that have gone off and done a 3 month flip somewhere or halfway around the world or anything like that, because working life does take over. But we had 3 weeks in Bolivia with Novo Adventures, who are actually a charity-based motorcycle organization, which was really nice because it means that the profits from you being there on bikes is actually helping the local community, which makes you feel quite nice about having an adventure in Bolivia. And then I did actually spend 6 weeks in Andorra last year. It was a few months after my surgery, and it was the year before last now, COVID. We've got to add a year. We've kind of had a year of COVID, haven't we? So the year before last, I spent 6 weeks in Andorra, kind of just having some downtime and trying to sort of recoup my energies after having, the majority of the surgery recovery. And that was really nice. I was with my trials bike.
Beautiful. So, how did your parents react to you taking up motorbiking after that accident?
Yeah, you often get that. Hang on a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, you got nearly died on a bicycle. And so in your recovery, you get on a motorbike, which is statistically more dangerous. And you're just like, yeah, okay, it does sound a bit crazy. I think just because an accident, and an accident is the key word, happened previously, it doesn't mean it's more likely to happen to me again. I can't bubble wrap myself through life. I'm not going to deny that my parents weren't overly pleased about me getting a motorbike because they were worried for my safety. But my
Right.
parents have always been very supportive, so they got over it relatively quickly. And now they absolutely love what I do. They just always worry about me when I'm going into a race or some big expedition somewhere. They're just like, stay safe.
Yeah. Parents should always be parents.
Yeah.
So, something that I realized that you've been all over the world, and therefore I started reading about what were the places that were the hardest to ride in the UK and around. So I've got a list here. Have you done any of these, or do you intend to coast off-road England? 1. Trans-Cambrian Way, Wales. 2. West Highland Way Loop, Scotland. 3. And Southeast Lake District Loops, England. 4. And then Exmoor, London. I hope I've got the names right. So,
Yeah, no, good pronunciation. Okay, so the only one on there I haven't been anywhere near on a bike is Scotland. We're thinking, depending on travel restrictions, to maybe go up to Scotland later this year on the Africa Twins. That we being my husband. On all the other ones, I've never done the whole of those routes. Like I've never gone start to finish, but I've been in all of those areas, and they really are beautiful parts of the country. England does have, and Wales has some incredible roads and landscapes.
so we look forward to more videos of you riding those places, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Vanessa, how do you take care of your health? after all those accidents? Because biking is not easy.
No, good food, lots of sleep, and trying to listen to my body when it says it needs a break, when it
Yeah.
says it's hurting more than it should be hurting. I kind of have a base level of pain, and then when I do things, that pain will increase. And for me, people ask, well, why do you do stuff if it hurts? And it's like, well, if I get the enjoyment out of doing it, then the enjoyment will balance the pain. But if I don't get enough enjoyment from it, then it's not worth the pain, kind of. So I kind of analyze things based on, is it worth the pain, kind of thing. So I think really good nutrition and rest is really important. Trying to be fit.
And what is that one thing that Alex and you enjoy doing together? What keeps you happy and connected after 11 years and yet pursuing your dreams?
It would probably be easier to say the one thing that we don't enjoy doing together, because we're one of those really lucky couples who 99% of the time we want to do the same things. I'm very, very lucky. We enjoy all the same activities and sports and spannering in the garage, mowing the lawns, whatever it is, cooking in the kitchen, riding off-road in Iceland. We enjoy it all together. I'm very, very lucky there. Yeah.
Wonderful. And do you guys take care of your own bikes?
Yes, yeah, we do. My husband is the one that has the sort of engineering background in that way. I'm learning lots and lots as we go. 5 years ago, I certainly couldn't do any bike maintenance myself. But I don't think we'd be able to afford the bikes that we have if we didn't look after them ourselves, because it is very expensive having someone else looking after them, particularly when you go to the hard enduro side of things, because they are high performance race machines, need quite a lot of regular maintenance, and they get broken a fair amount. Rocks.
Of course. That's like high maintenance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So another thing, any plans of ever coming to India?
I would absolutely love to come to India. It's definitely on my bucket list. It's just not something that is currently in plan. I need to make it happen at some point, and it will happen. Just don't know when. COVID will be a key to that as well. But my husband was actually lived in India when he was a child. With his father worked out there, so the whole family was in India. I think they were in Goa and New Delhi.
Yeah.
For a couple of years at various points in his childhood. So I know he's very keen to go back as well.
How wonderful.
So we will at some point.
We look forward to hosting you here.
Yay.
So tell me, what are you going to doing to be your best version at 40?
The best version. I think my biggest thing is to try and make the most of every day.
Yeah.
And, be grateful for everything I have around me, and try and continue to grow my mind, my knowledge, my experiences.
Simple and deep. So any advice for aspiring motorbikers, off-roaders?
Don't be afraid to give it a go. We're all beginners once, and that's totally okay. It's just about having a go at it. If you're lacking confidence or feeling nervous about it, then put yourself in an environment where some of those fears are sort of put away. So maybe go somewhere a bit quieter, somewhere where you've got more space, and work on the basic skills. So clutch control, balance, and just keep at it and make sure it's fun. If you're too hard on yourself, you'll lose the enjoyment. Just make sure you're smiling, be kind to yourself, and don't be afraid to start and give it a go, because it's really fun.
Great. So now time for some quick fire questions, what I call the quick fire round. One thing that you always carry with you.
Painkillers. Sadly. Yeah, painkillers.
And is it because of the biking or because of the bashing that your body's been through?
Yeah, the injuries from the accident living on as such. Yeah, my hip isn't ideal, but it's the only hip I'll have, so I will keep going. And when I need painkillers, then that's what they're there for. I just try not to take them very often, because anyone who has a dependency on painkillers knows that they're your best friend and your worst enemy.
I don't know what to say to that, but yes, I do wish and pray that you are able to get off them and don't need them very soon in the future.
Thank you.
Your favorite color?
Turquoise. I'm not even wearing it.
I know. Thank you for wearing it, because most of your biking clothes are dark, black
It's very
clothes, or
difficult to get bright bike clothes. It really is. I've got a red jacket I wear on the Harley, and otherwise most of the bike kit is dark. I don't understand it because it's not exactly the best to be seen.
yeah, we need someone to fashion the biking clothes also and get some colors in, right?
Yeah.
So, three things that biking has taught you.
Okay. Freedom, because they take you to a lot of places that you wouldn't necessarily normally go.
Hmm.
The fact that I can, and the fact that I'm this small female doesn't stop me. I can still get out there into a rock field among the guys and do it myself. So 2 is the fact that I can.
Hmm.
And 3 is the fact that, oh, what's the third thing motorbikes have taught me? Probably that there is a community out there in the whole world that because you're a biker, you're automatically part of, which I really like. It's like a big motorbike family across the world, which sounds really cliche, but it's lovely. Like I'm talking to you in the other side of the world, and that's lovely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are there a lot of women doing this, or are you a rarity?
I'd say in the UK, maybe 8% of bikers are female, so it's very much a small portion. And once you go into the off-road and then onto the extreme enduro side, the numbers are far less. I think the numbers are starting to grow, but I really want to try and encourage more females to get out and give it a go because we can bike just like the guys.
Absolutely, if not better. So, what makes off-road biking different from Formula race biking?
Gosh, so the bikes themselves are very different. If you take basic things like the tires, you've got far more grip than an off-road bike because you've got the traction difficulties in the terrain. You've got suspension that's designed to absorb those kind of shocks and impacts of off-road. The bikes are very much designed to be dropped and not break and scratch in the same way.
Wow.
And physically, off-road, you are going to be very much wrestling, a 100-kilo motorbike across some different terrain, whereas, you've got flat tarmac maybe on a race bike. Then a race bike is going to be able to go 10 times faster than an off-road bike because they're designed for different kinds of riding.
Absolutely. Interesting. So, three things that Vanessa will never do.
Oh, what? 3 things I'd never do. Give up. Except that I want to say believe that I can't do it, but it's like knowing your limits as well. There's that difference between bravery and stupidity. And I'd hope that I wouldn't be unkind to other people. Because one thing I've learned through my life is most people that are unkind are only unkind because they're hurting themselves. And so I tend to feel sad for people when they need to be unkind to other people to make themselves feel good. So I'd hope that I'm not unkind to other people.
Such endearing qualities. A movie that has made you cry the most.
The new Black Beauty film,
Ah,
I really cried watching that. My brother was actually the cinematographer for it, so I've got a bit of a personal connection to it. But it's absolutely beautiful. The new Black Beauty film from Disney. I cried.
did you watch it alone, or did you have family or Alex with you?
I was with Alex. He didn't cry.
Yeah, of course. But you
You
had
should
someone
have.
hold your hand. Okay, so the strangest habit that you have.
Ooh, eating frozen sweet corn.
Ah,
I love frozen sweet corn. It's just a little snack. I love it.
yeah, and it's a healthy snack at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the healthiest and the most unhealthy thing that you do.
Healthiest is probably the fact that I don't eat sugar
Yeah.
and like processed sugar. So I'll eat fruit, but not too much. But I don't eat cake or chocolate or anything like that. And alcohol doesn't count, but I don't drink that much alcohol. So that's the healthiest. And the most unhealthy, gosh, maybe it's pushing my body when maybe it would like a little bit less being pushed, but I only have one of them and I'm not going to give up. So I have to make the most of it.
Absolutely. And I had a few more questions in mind. So what do you like to wear the most when you're not biking?
What do I like to wear the most? Comfy tank top and my action pants. They're what I call them. So I've got what they call Revolution race trousers. I'm always wearing them around the bikes. They're like bright coloured trousers that are made for kneeling and they're tough and hard and comfortable. That's probably one of my favorites. But then I really do enjoy getting dressed up for a wedding or something. And most people don't believe it, but I do own dresses.
Yeah.
And I always do my nails, and I'm girly as well.
One thing that no one knows about Vanessa.
Ooh, one thing that no one knows.
Yeah.
Oh, um, that I get scared too, and that I get sad. I get sad too. People know that because I'm really honest and open when I have tough days or I'm struggling with my body. So that's not really something no one knows. What does no one know about me? I'm really open.
Yeah.
This feels really boring. What? There's got to be something people don't know about me.
But that's not boring.
Um,
That's wonderful. What is your favorite music for when you're riding? Or do you listen to any music when you're riding?
yeah, I've always got my Cardo Scala Black Pack Talk intercom on my helmet, and I love having music on. So country music is my favorite. I love my country music. One of my undergraduate degrees, I did a part of it in North Carolina in America, which is pretty much the land of country music. So I fell in love with country then, and now I just love country. It's just happy and it tells a story.
Yeah. And okay, so what has biking in various countries taught you about their cultures? Or has it enriched you in any manner?
I'd say biking in different cultures is very similar to traveling there in another form. Although on a motorbike, you tend to end up in more remote places. So I remember some of the villages we went to in Bolivia, and they were just so overwhelmed with happiness that we'd chosen to ride through their village, and they'd invite us in for tea, and we'd sit and eat oranges off their trees. It was lovely. I think it's just about um, exchanging positive energies with people, which I really enjoy.
Wonderful. If you were not doing what you're doing, what else would you be up to?
Oh, well, uh, if I was,
Not biking. What?
if I wasn't biking,
Hmm.
probably kite surfing.
Ah,
That was my big sport prior to the accident. I haven't gone back to it yet, but I will.
your favorite drink?
Favorite drink? Um, I really enjoy hot lemon, so hot water with a bit of fresh lemon juice in it. I drink that quite a lot in the day to keep hydrated. And if we're out on like the enduro bikes, I have like an electrolyte in my water to help me stay hydrated. They're probably my two favorites. If we're talking an alcoholic drink, then it would be a gin and tonic, but I don't have that every day.
Yeah, yeah, you specified that. So, last question. What made you agree to come on my channel?
I was honored that you asked, so of course I was going to say yes.
I am honored that you agree.
If anyone wants to find me, I'm the girl on a bike, and I'm on all the social channels. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. There's loads of riding footage over there. More recently, TikTok, which is, oh gosh, TikTok sucks your life away, and LinkedIn. So yeah, please do find me, girl on a bike, Vanessa Ruck.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you again. And
Thank
wish you all
you.
the best.